Sup guys, I'm recording this vlog right now. I just accompanied my dad to A&E with my accident emergency with my grandfather because he was feeling breathless earlier. We were afraid that he had COVID, or we were also quite afraid that it was an asthma attack. So better play safe. We brought him to the hospital, and while we were there waiting for him, to get treated and get checked by the doctor, I didn't have anything better to do, so I just had a conversation with my father, and one random question came into my head, and it was this: hey dad, what's one thing that you learned from your own dad's life, which is my grandfather's life? And I think that was a moment of power right there, because he actually shared with me from the bottom of his heart. He said this: when I was growing up, my dad, which is my grandfather, had no time for him, for my father and the family, right? He was busy working, and there was one specific incident. My grandfather caught him and my uncle fighting, and without getting clear on the facts, he saw my father like pushing my uncle, and my grandfather at that moment slapped my dad. And it was a very, very important moment for my father, because he felt disrespected, he felt accused. And for the next 6 months, after the incident, he did not speak to my father. He did not speak to his father, which is my akong. And that dispute triggered a need to prove himself. That incident kind of ignited that fire in my father's soul, that like he wanted to prove to his own dad that he's capable, he's powerful. And I had goosebumps in that moment, because it reminded me of myself. My story was, for my dad, I asked him, Daddy, how old were you when that happened? He said he was 17 years old, accompanied by my grandmother. When she was playing mahjong, gambling, my dad asked her for money, and she threw $5 at him. And then again, he felt disrespected again. So yeah, so my own father's life was not easy, right? He learned and experienced all these things. And when he entered the sales industry, he had to fight from scratch, and managers weren't kind to him. They were saying nasty and harsh things to him. So he has gone through all those things, and he has these tendencies of not sharing his problem with anybody, because he has this belief that nobody can help him even though he say it. So what's the point of telling? He will solve everything himself. As a result of that, he gone through a lot of stress, a lot of popping pills to manage his anxiety, and a lot of mental health issues that he wasn't aware of. And after hearing my dad going through his reflection and his processing his life, whatever he learned from his father, and this thought just came into my head. Whatever that my dad experienced, probably he consciously want to not replicate it, or make me go through that. But somehow, I still have to go through whatever that I've gone through in my own life with regards to my relationship with my dad, right? So for me, I resonate a lot, because since young, my dad's anger was bad. Because, I don't know what went wrong. Maybe because he didn't deal with all his emotional trauma as well. When I was young, disrespectful with my mom, he would just lock me up in the toilet and just smack me non-stop. Until today, I still remember everything, He would use his belt, cane me, slap me. Yeah, so... but the opposite definitely is, he spent a lot of quality time with us, because there's something that he didn't have with his father when he was younger. So right now, where I can remember, growing up with my family, my dad and my mom would spend a lot of quality time with us. But the truth is, my father don't use word of affirmation. So that's why I always have this longing for validation, longing for affirmation from my parents. And funny how my dad wanted more quality time from his parents, so he gave more quality time to us. And I want more affirmation because my dad didn't give that. And most likely I will give that to my kids next time, right? But I might not give my kids quality time or whatever. So to me, I'm just catching patterns here. I'm just trying to learn, what can I learn from these two amazing and incredible souls. We are all human beings, we all make mistakes. So in my head, I'm just processing what are some painful mistakes the both of them made. And I think one of the most significant moment was when my granddad was okay. The doctor released him. I actually asked my granddad this question. I was like, why? I said in Chinese, why did you not spend enough quality time with your children when you were younger? And his typical answer was, I was busy with business, and that's that. So I went to probe and ask deeper questions. I was asking him, do you actually regret? Do you regret that you never spent enough time with them? And he actually said that, yeah, of course, but regret, what's the point of regret, right? I can't change anything at all. And I asked him this, like, assuming you can turn back time, what would you do differently? And he said, honestly, I'm just living life day by day. He's 86 right now. So he said, I'm just living life day by day. And I don't dare to dream much also. So when I heard that, it really hit my heart. I'm like, so how would you feel if you actually can spend more quality time with your children now? He said, I would love that. And in that moment, I saw hope. I saw desire from my grandfather, which usually on a daily basis, he's just aimlessly and mindlessly watching YouTube. So I guess that, at the start of this, me accompanying my father to, making sure that my granddad is well, I was just going along with it because my father asked me to do so. But from the bottom of my heart, I'm just extremely grateful and thankful that I experienced this deep conversation with my father at the same time with my grandfather as well. I think it's definitely one of the most life-changing event that happened to me because I really can understand the both of them on deeper level context, and it really intensified my desire to be a stay-home dad so that I can really walk through my kids' journey with patience, higher consciousness, and more importantly, not to follow the both of their footsteps and repeat the same mistake that the both of them have done. Really love and be loved. This is something that I gained from tonight's incident.